It always comes to this. More nice Morning, guys. Back again to do another tattoo progress update today. Where I last left off, I was talking about all kinds of stuff. Not a whole lot of tattoo stuff. Sorry, I don't find it to be the most interesting thing to talk about all the time. Given how much time I spend doing everything else in life, I'll have people say things like, "You live in the chair. All you do is get tattooed." It's like, that's not even close to true. I spend almost no time in the chair compared to any other part of my life. I spend more time working out than I do getting tattooed, which is ironic because you'll have times where people will come in and claim that I've never done a push-up. It's one of the funniest comments I've ever seen. I don't respond to all of these, but someone said that guy's never done a push-up a day in his life. And I do 250 push-ups every day. It's probably too many. I do those whether I'm getting tattooed or not. Anyway, I'm not going to obsess over that. I spend more time with my family. I spend more time playing video games. I spend more time at work. I spend more time working out. All of these things. Tattoos are just my niche. So, no one really wants to hear what the fuck Remy thinks about Darkest Dungeon 2, which is a game I've been addicted to on and off for a few years now. Anyway, I had another session with Terry, so we took a week off, and I wasn't sure I was getting tattooed this time. I actually wasn't sure at all whether this appointment was going to happen, so whenever I get my back or my stomach or anything like under the shirt tattooed, I'll wear a button-up shirt. I find it's a little easier to put on afterwards. I have like a less range of motion when I get my shoulders tattooed or my back of any kind. So I just find that, especially because I use those blue medical bandages, it's a little easier to put a button-up shirt on than like a straight-up t-shirt. So big baggy button-up t-shirt every time for a back tattoo, in my opinion. I've been doing it that way forever. Anyway, we had about a 4.5 hour session. Back piece sessions so far, I did 6-hour line work, 5-hour session, 4.5 hours. So if you don't count the blackout and the pre-existing back tattoos, this back tattoo on its own, I'm already in 15.5 hours. But to put that into to perspective for you, I'm in probably close to 200 hours on this sleeve already. So not much. I think I probably got about 100 hours in this sleeve in total, but that's counting reworks, like when it was white and black on black, and then it's we color in the thorns and we change the color of the roses, and the red's been passed 3 times. Hasn't been hit in a year now, for record. For the people who say all color on black will be gone in a year, fuck you. That's not true. That's not a thing. You can fuck off. Just a slight. So yeah, every time we change this, you're adding another however many hours to the pile. So it's not really all that surprising to me that we're already 15 hours into my back piece. I would say we'll probably clock in between 75 to 100 hours on it, because we've already done quite a bit. I'll show it off now. I'll try to show it off now. I don't know if this is going to work. I'm never confident in my back showing off. So stand a little farther back. Hopefully I did something there. We worked on the bottom first. We were on the bottom for, I don't know, probably an hour-ish. Then we moved up the sides and did that hand holding the bell there. The right side of my lower back we got almost all of done, but there is more to do on the left side. That's because my tailbone was getting a little bit swollen, and you could pretty easily bruise someone's tailbone working on them with a big mag. Most of this was done with 15 and 27 mag. The small details are being done with a 15 mag, as funny as that sounds. And the bigger work is all being done with the 27. It was lined with a 7 and 15 mag. So big lines, big details. That's part of why we're moving so fast with this. We're not going to get bogged down in little details like what's happening with this sleeve here. I like the little detail stuff. It's cool. There's a lot of that in the chest piece too. That's part of why it has 26 sessions on it. It's not because it keeps fading and I keep touching it up. I don't care what half-wit will tell you that. I have been incredibly candid about all of this and will continue to be. So for anyone who wants to know, I'm not selling snake oil, and I am very upfront about all of this. It takes a long time to do any work over black, and but then again, every cover-up does. There's no cover-up that goes quick. There isn't one. And if there is, it's not a good one. A good cover-up should take you a while. And you know, I don't even consider this cover-up work, because the way I see it is like, I didn't really need cover-up work. Like, it's not a cover-up in the traditional sense of like, oh, you know, you're getting rid of the tattoo you hate because you have, you know, this terrible script of your ex-lover's name on your arm or something. Like, for me, it's a cover-up only in the sense of how the work is being done. It's not spiritually a cover-up, or emotionally there's no, oh, thank God that tattoo's gone, or there's never any of that. For me, it was always just like, I want to do more, so let's do more. Even my old, I'm having people now, they've seen the back piece video, and people are like, wow, that's so much better than what was there already. These are the same people who were like, wow, you're crazy, why would you black that out? The amount of times that that's happened over the years is astounding. And it's like, by now, when I started the back piece, I feel like I've already had enough good results that there should have been none of that left. But sometimes it takes a little longer for people to see the direction. And even though I'm walking, living proof that this stuff works well enough that I trust to have it on my face, whenever you start another one of these, you always get those comments. And then, like always, as soon as you start doing the new work, people start coming around every single time, rinse and repeat. There's zero surprise in that. And, you know, it's a little bit like the way you felt about Christmas as a kid or something, where it was so special. And, you know, now, like, as an adult, you're like, yeah, you got to buy gifts. Like, I used to be like kind of elated by that response. Like, look at that. Look, they thought I was wrong, and now they've come. Now it's just like, I'm almost bored to tears with it. It's like, yeah, it worked. What a shock. Who knew? Every single time that people will do things like, I thought you were crazy when you did that, but now I like just trust the process by now. But it is happening, and people are coming around, and I see so many of these projects happening now, and even more tattoo artists are opening their minds to it. You still get so many of the ones that don't, but it's just going to win out, like, because laser is not a perfect like scenario either. And so, like, for example, I do laser removal here, and I can be a decent salesman. I can be charismatic. I'm not trying to talk people out of their money, but laser is a tough sell. Most people don't have a good opinion of laser. Even most people who have no awareness of any of the fact that it takes a long time usually. Most people just don't like the idea of laser. And so if you give them this as an alternative, most of them, especially if the tattooer is behind it, most of them go this route. I've seen it. They would prefer it. And I think it's the better way, personally, especially if you've got a big monstrosity of all different colors, shades, line weights, and just fucking just bulldoze that fucking thing so that you can start fresh. Because some parts of it with laser are going to lift differently. The shading might go easy, the lines might take a while, Color takes forever to laser, and sometimes it's impossible to laser. So you got like this weird, inconsistent thing that's gonna hurt and cost a fuck. So I lasered a woman the other day that we're doing a cover-up project on, and she was charged $600 for a tattoo this fucking big on her ankle. I didn't take that much from her. That's what the last place was charging her, and it barely did a fucking thing. That's embarrassing. Whoever did that should be embarrassed. I would not work for that company for very long. I have a hard time charging someone a couple $100s for a session of laser, let alone $600 for something. I lasered a whole fucking woman's outer arm for $150, and I felt like I ripped her off. Because they're walking away with fucking nothing. So, they're walking away with a hope that something happens, because sometimes nothing happens, and you're charging them that much for that. Did you do that with a smile on your face? Because that's fucking gross. I can't even imagine going, yeah, I can't tell you what kind of result you're going to get. Hopefully it works. $600, see you next time. Fuck, that's crazy. And then to have people go, oh, laser's the only way. No, better methods will come. This industry is much younger than a lot of old tattooers who have been doing it for a relatively short amount of time in the grand scheme of things, seem to think. Like, for example, when I was a cook for 20 years, I didn't assume I knew everything about cooking. But when you meet a tattooer that's been tattooing for 20 years, he really thinks he knows everything about tattooing. When really, most times, it's like in 20 years, you can learn a certain amount about something. You won't live long enough to learn everything about anything. You just won't. We're still learning new things every day. Anyway, next week, Terry and I have another session on my back piece. And we're going to be doing a lot of the color elements in the top and probably the face, maybe a little bit in the bell, depending on how well I'm healed. You never really want to be working that close to very like recently healed tissue. It's not like I'm gonna get an infection doing that or something, but somebody might, and it's just better to let the skin heal, and you get a better result too. So it is better to leave like a bit of a gap between what you worked last week and what you're working this week. So we're gonna be doing a lot of the color in the face because it's been 3 weeks, and hopefully get some color into the hood too. I think it'll give a lot of context when the hood is red, because right now it kind of looks more like a goblin than Krampus, to be quite honest. I had someone ask me what the fuck it was. Is it like an alien or something? And especially because it's not like a one-to-one like Krampus, and there is no fucking Krampus to begin with. Like, it's not like you're going to find one of these things out in the wild. So it can't be photorealistic, and there's been many interpretations of this guy as it is. Having that red hood in there was my idea, because if you put that in there, then it ties it to the Krampus movie, makes it a little bit more recognizable. And I did like the Krampus movie anyway. I don't think that's the coolest looking Krampus that there's been. I think that the classic Krampuses are probably a little more fun, but having that kind of red Christmas hood in there gives the context. Also, the bell and the split tongue were things that I knew needed to be in the composition in order for the context to come through in the end. So, as the color elements come into it, it will look more and more what it is, and less of like this weird devil goblin creature on my back. But if you don't know who Krampus is, it's still a cool tattoo. That's the important thing. Like I said on a recent episode of Remy Reacts with that, there's a Naruto back piece, I guess my wife informs me. I don't know what the fuck Naruto is, but it still has to be a good tattoo. It doesn't matter that it's this thing. It still has to adhere to the rules of tattooing and be a good tattoo at the end of the day, because not everybody is going to know what the fuck it is. It's the same thing as this chest piece. No one knows what the fuck this is. To be honest with you, I don't know what the fuck this is. It's a creature that Rick drew based on Lovecraftian stories. I love it, especially now with the new color in there that is really doing very, very good. It's holding up great, and I'm a big fan of the rework of it, the new colors. But I couldn't tell you a name to that creature. It doesn't need to have one, but it does need to have, good lines, and the color needs to be saturated and color coded and all of this. Even if you don't know what the thing is, it should still have certain basic rules that you adhere to in all tattooing. Anyway, I will be talking to you guys again next week when I have a session up here near my armpit, underarm area. Well, I guess it's closer to the top of the bicep area. There's quite a bit of scarring in here. You can see there's a line there. That has been blacked out. I don't even know how many times, and that line is still there. So, yeah, I'm not expecting it's going to take especially well, but yeah, I think people are going to be surprised with what we do in there. So, I'll talk to you guys again soon. Have a great day.